After studying success for a lot of years now and building a bunch of programs and a bunch of models around it, I've learned something. And that is that most things that you try in life that are really new, like truly new, they don't work out the way that you think that they will. Okay. So when you try a new thing, whether it be a new thing in your personal life, a new thing in your business life, whether you run a new ad, whether you try a new exercise routine, you try a new food, whatever it is, when you try something that's really new in your life, most of the time, it doesn't work out the way that you thought it would. Now, it's kind of obvious when you think about it, because if you're really trying something new, you don't really understand that kind of domain. But because we come from a world that really values doing things right, not making mistakes, not screwing up, we want to look really good. We particularly don't want to fail in front of others. Like, there's enough of a problem. We have enough fear of just failure, but then failing in front of others is, that's just totally unacceptable. And you've probably heard me say before that, if I have a secret to success, it's that I'm willing to fail on stage. I'm willing to try new things and have them not work out. And so the paradox of all of this is that if you try new things, even though most of them won't work out, okay, if you do more experiments, Thomas Edison talked about, I think he tried hundreds or maybe thousands of different materials for the filament of a light bulb before he found the one that would work. And there's that famous story, someone interviewing him and saying, you failed all these times, basically, aren't you discouraged? And he said, I haven't failed. I've discovered all of these materials that are not useful for the filament of a light bulb. And so when you're trying new things, yes, probably 1 out of 3, 1 out of 5 of them, that's my experience, something like that. 1 out of 3, 1 out of 4, 1 out of 5 will work out and be something where you'll say, wow, that's a real breakthrough, or that's an insight where I could keep using that in my life. And again, whether that's a new green shake recipe in the morning, or a new exercise routine, or it's a new way of bringing up a sensitive topic with your romantic partner, or it's a new advertisement that you run, or a new way of investing, or whatever it is, if you're willing to accept that maybe only 20% of those are going to really work out, and that 3 or 4 out of 5 are not going to, what the benefit that you get back on the other side is that when you discover one of those 1 out of 5s that does work, you can then take it and plug it into your routine, and then you can systemize it and you can make it a part of your life. And if you go through life collecting these winning formulas and winning strategies, and you do that with your physical health, you do it with your business, you do it in your relationships, you do it with learning, you do it with investing, you do it with your spiritual life, with spiritual practices, you do it with your community. If you just keep this experimental mindset, and maybe you put 20% of your life into doing these kinds of experiments, being willing to accept a failure rate of 70, 80%, something like this, but then you take the wins and you systemize them, they compound and they turn into, they have a snowball effect where eventually you get so much momentum and your whole life starts working out so well that the small failures stop even hurting that much, and of course we all have failures in life that hurt, and sometimes things, can be extremely painful. But I'm suggesting this as a mindset and as approach, and I'm suggesting this as a mindset and as an approach, because if you come at life in this way, if this is your stance, right, if this is where you're coming from, I think that you can have a life that's, maybe 10 or 100 times, that feels 10 or 100 times as successful as you could have had.